Hello, this is David Cherry, and what I'm going to talk about is when you're learning Python, just like I am right now. One of the things you want to do is how do you list your files? If you want to list them, and I'm programming from the standpoint of being able to put things out on the um, out as an HTML document, okay, rather than from the command line. So that's why you see, as I noted before, you see this, okay, because this is the path where your Python is installed, okay, and you'll need to have that on there, okay. But anyway, the basic code is right here on how to list directories, okay, and this is what you'll see because most people when they do their coding, they'll show you it from the command line. But what good is it doing from the command line if you want to print an HTML document? Okay, so that's why I do it this way. All right, and so when you're learning, you want to be able to index your files and to where you can click the link to the file to execute it, to test it, for the web end, of the web. So this is what I am doing. Okay, so anyway, in order to list files and directories, okay, there's different modules you can use, but the most common inbuilt method where you don't have to use to install extra stuff is the import operating system module. And so in order to do that, you just basically create an import statement, which is right here, okay, and then that import statement will be followed by OS, okay. And to list the directories is this, to list the files, it will be right here where you create an index, okay, of the files in the current directory that you're in, okay. Now the way I got it is in all the directories, if you can see right here, all right, I have, a list of directories right here, and so directory operations, okay. And so as I was learning, I started creating things, and for directory operations, odor scripts, okay, then directory methods, okay, and then my notes, and then scripts not working, okay. And so that's how I do things to learn, okay. And so this is within my web server document, for the CGI bin, okay, to give you an explanation of what I'm doing. So these are the scripts that I've created, okay, and I'm going to put a lot of these scripts out, show you what they are, how they work. So I don't know how many I'll get out today, and we'll just have to see. But anyway, so this little tip is on how to create an index to where you can create links to these files right here. Okay, like you see right here, these will be the links in my CGI bin. Okay, links to the files. Okay, so anyway, the CGI bin of the web server. All right, so anyway, back to this right here. This is the statement that actually prints the link right here. And it's really tricky. In PHP, it's not so tricky, okay? Maybe I'll learn a different way of doing it, as time moves along. But you have to be sure, okay, that you type it out exactly like that to create the link, okay? So let me explain to you what's going on, okay, and how it works, okay? Now, the actual index, okay, it looks like this right here, okay. And so to give you an example, okay, if I want to read the current directory recursively, and I want to see how the code is outputs, in HTML, I just click this link, okay, and there it goes, okay. So now I got a list of all the files that I've written in this directory, okay, and it does recursively, and so it says, here, only py files and path names. So this is what we call a path name right here, okay. Now on Windows, your path names will be this way, okay. Now let me give you a little tip about paths in Windows. When you want to like delete a file, copy a file, move the file, you'll have to convert these to forward slashes, okay, in order to do it, okay. So like let's say that all this information was written down into a text file, and I'm reading the text file and I want to use that information in the text file to delete certain files. I'll have to convert those over to forward slashes. Now, if I did a delete directly within the program, that would not be necessary. Okay, so that's just a little tip. Okay, so anyway, let me see if I can go back to where we're at. Okay, so this is all the files indexed in the current directory that is non-recursive, and I want to list just the Python files. Okay, so back to the code right here. Okay. All right, you have to have the import statement, okay, to use the operating system module in Python, okay? And then what I do is I'm creating a for statement right here. So this is the beginning of the for statement right here. So for X in operating system list directory, okay? So this is the method right here, okay? All right, and this is the module right here, okay? And you know, you can put any variable that you want here, okay? If you notice, you got to follow the flow. So you got the X here, you got the X here, okay? And so with the for statement, what I want to do in this line right here, okay, is for X can be anything. I could say for file in operating system list directory, but I left it as X, okay? All right, and so for X ends with PY, okay? So, and then you got to have this right here, otherwise it will not execute. The same thing here. Everything has to be exactly as you see it right here, okay? And so for X, all right, it says for X in operating system list directory, okay? So this is your method right here, or inbuilt function within the operating system module, okay? And then what I want to do is create a conditional statement. So the conditional statement is everything that you see right here. All right, and this tells me, all right, right here, all right, this is the file extension, okay, .py. Now let's say if you're looking for a particular file name, you can do the same thing right here. Let's say if I'm looking for a file name data, I can do that, but I don't have a file by that name of data in here, okay? So, you know, so and that would only list that particular file that ends with, you know, data.py, okay? But we're not looking for a file. What we're looking for is file by extension, all right? So here, and then what I want to do is I want to print out, all right, what I have right here ends with py, okay? Now, this is the basic print statement right here. Okay, now the variable, the actual variable is right here, there and there. All right, for the anchor. You know, technically in HTML, a link is called an anchor. Okay, you can get confused when you talk about an anchor when you go into like your CSS style sheets. All right. And that's another discussion. So it's basically better when you're talking about HTML links is to call it an HTML anchor, because that's what it actually is when you're coding. Okay, so what I'm basically doing is I'm printing out an anchor to every file. Okay, and the anchor, you know, we're using the variable X here and the variable X here. Okay, and I'm using concatenation here. I can never say the word right. I gotta practice that, I guess. All right, and so I'm creating a basic link right here. And so, you know, you have the anchor tag begins here, and the anchor tag ends right here. Okay, and so, you know, typically an anchor in HTML will be written like this. Okay, A. All right, and then I'll have like href, and then I'll have equal, and then this, okay? That's your typically your anchor right here, okay? And so if you look at this, you can see that the anchor is right here, okay? Now if I have multiple anchors, I'm going to need a break tag, all right, HTML break tag, and that's what you see right here. Okay, and so your anchor, the ending tag is here, and the ending tag is here. Okay, but I have to use concatenation to do this, you know, because I won't be able to print all right, without, you know, doing concation. So let me show you an example here, just so you can make it a little understandable. Okay. Basically, concation would be if I was to create a variable, let's say a variable called pi. Okay. All right. Now I can't 1.3. I can remember pi. I used to know all that stuff. But pi equals, and then I want to create a variable. Okay, and that'd be the variable whatever you have for pi here. 3.1 something. I can't remember. God forgive me. I need to go back over that stuff. And so anyway, you know, so and what I want to do is I want to print the anchor pi here and here, but you have to do some extra coding. So that's a little hard to explain. So rather than do that, I'm just going to leave the code here for you to look at and to study. All right, and you know, so anyway, that's basically how you create an index to list your files and present your files to where you can create links in your current directory that you're working in, that you're learning, you know, with Python. And you want to be sure to type the code exactly. And always remember, these are the variables right here, all right, that are for the link. Okay, so that's it, David Cherry, on how to create a an index, how to list Python files as HTML links. Okay, and so that's how you do it. I thank you. You have a good day, and give me a thumbs up if you like it, and if you use it, let me know.